and I work in this building, the Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum. Today we're going to learn all about the acoustic guitar. First, we'll learn about the parts of the guitar by doing a fun drawing and design activity. Second, we'll take a look inside our museum at an historic and very special acoustic guitar and the person who played it, Mother Maybelle Carter. Third, we'll listen to a demonstration of Mother Maybelle's unique style of playing. Finally, I'm going to teach you how to play 3 chords on the acoustic guitar and delve into learning about Mother Maybelle's unique style, known as the Carter Scratch. Whether you're a total beginner or even an experienced player or somewhere in between, this brief lesson has something for everyone, and you can always press pause to work at your own pace. Before we can learn to play a guitar, we'll need some shared vocabulary so that we can talk about the guitar and what to do with it in order to make music. If you're already an experienced player, this is a chance to do a fun art project involving the instrument you know and love. Many guitar players put their own personal design touches on their guitars. For example, here's a Taylor acoustic guitar in our museum exhibit that belongs to Taylor Swift. How did Taylor Swift design her guitar to express her unique personal style? If you said that she covered the guitar with sparkling Swarovski crystal rhinestones, you'd be correct. What about Jimmie Rodgers, the first country music superstar? How did Jimmy personalize his guitar? Need a hint? Look closely at the neck of the guitar. If you said that Jimmy personalized his guitar by having his name designed into the fingerboard on the neck of the guitar, you'd be correct again. What would your personal guitar design look like? Let's check in with Miss Britt, who has the answers to a very important question.
What makes up a guitar anyway? When we describe a guitar, we use many of the same words that we use to describe a person, like head, neck, and body. Right now, I'll give you a chance to pause and grab a piece of paper and a drawing tool.
Let's start with the body, a big curvy line. The body of the guitar is the biggest part. The body of an acoustic guitar is hollow and makes sound louder. Now, the neck is attached to the body and holds the fingerboard and guitar strings. The headstock sits atop the guitar neck and supports the guitar's tuning pegs. The tuning pegs, or tuners, attach the strings to the headstock. They also allow the player to change the string tension or tightness to tune the instrument. The sound hole is usually located in the center of the body. The sound hole allows the vibrating guitar strings to interact with the space inside the hollow guitar body, making sound. Imagine that the sound hole acts like a door to a large room or the mouth of a cave, allowing vibrations to enter, become amplified, and then exit as sound. The bridge near the bottom of the guitar body allows the strings to attach to the body of the guitar. The nut is located where the neck meets the headstock. The nut guides the strings as they leave the tuning pegs to join the neck of the guitar. Without the nut, the strings would just lie flat against the neck of the guitar, making the guitar unplayable. The strings. Guitars usually have 6 strings. Each string has a different thickness. You strum the strings to make sound. The thicker the strings, the lower the pitch. The saddle. Located on top of the bridge, the saddle supports the strings as they leave the bridge and begin to hover over the neck. Along with the nut, the saddle makes sure there is enough space between the strings and the neck so that the guitar can be played. The frets are metal wires embedded in the fingerboard of the guitar neck. When you press the strings against different frets, you play different notes. The frets change the length of the strings, so they change the pitch of the notes. The pickguard is a piece of material, usually plastic on the body, next to the sound hole. The pickguard protects the body of the guitar from getting scratched by the guitar pick as the player strums the guitar.
Thanks for leading us through that fun activity, Britt. And by the way, where do you all think the guitar comes from? The guitar originated in North Africa and Spain before making its way to North America. You've just learned all about the parts of the guitar. So what do you notice about the differences between these two guitars that I'm holding? Here's a hint. Take a look at the guitar's sound holes. This Epiphone guitar doesn't have a big round sound hole like this Gibson J45 does. The Epiphone guitar's sound holes are shaped like a letter of the alphabet. Guess what these sound holes are called? That's right. These sound holes are actually called F-holes. They look a lot like the sound holes you'd find on a fiddle or in a cello. Now, let's take a look inside the Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum and at an historic and very special acoustic guitar and the person who played it, Mother Maybelle Carter. Maybelle Carter was born Maybelle Addington in Virginia in 1909. She grew up in a big family with 10 siblings. Her family played a lot of music in their home, and they had a lot of instruments, including a banjo, an autoharp, guitar, and an organ. As a child, Maybelle learned to play these instruments, beginning with the autoharp, and she sang the songs her mother sang, who sang the songs her mother sang, who sang the songs her parents sang. She played music with her brothers and sisters. When she was 13, Maybelle got her very own guitar, and she started to invent her own style of playing based on what she saw and heard. She studied the way her mom played the banjo, and she watched her brothers play the guitar. She listened to local fiddlers play and studied her uncle's banjo picking. Anywhere there was music, Maybelle was listening and learning, and she incorporated what she heard into her own playing. When she was 18 years old, Maybelle joined a band with her cousin Sarah and Sarah's husband, A.P. Carter. They were called the Carter family. Maybelle was married to A.P.'s brother, Ezra Carter, so everyone in the group had the last name Carter. The Carter family made their first recordings in 1927 in Bristol, Tennessee. Their music became very popular. If you listened to country music in the late 1920s and throughout the 1930s, then you heard the Carter family and the songs they made famous. Songs like Can the Circle Be Unbroken, Keep on the Sunny Side, and Wildwood Flower. They were primarily known for their harmony singing and the way Maybelle played the guitar. Maybelle was always pushing herself to learn new songs and try new ways of playing. She learned many songs from Lesley Riddle, a Black American musician. Lesley worked closely with the Carter family, helping them find and learn songs sung in Black American communities throughout the Appalachian Mountains of North Carolina, Tennessee, and Virginia. Maybelle would watch Lesley play for hours, learning blues licks and techniques from him. Now, let's look at Maybelle Carter's 1928 Gibson L5 model acoustic guitar, on display at the Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum's Precious Jewel exhibit. Which of the two guitars that I'm holding does Maybelle's guitar more closely resemble? Maybelle's Gibson L5 archtop guitar is one of the most important guitars in music history. She acquired it in 1928, the year after the Carter family made their first recordings in Bristol. She chose the L5 archtop because it was larger and louder than other guitars on the market, and that meant the instrument would be heard over the Carter family's singing and autoharp playing. Maybelle spent $275 on the guitar, a price that today equates to more than $4,000. Before the Carter family came along, the guitar was known in America for doing pretty much one thing, which was accompanying a singer. We called this kind of playing rhythm guitar. And here's an example. Maybelle's technique of playing the bass with her thumb and frailing or strumming with her finger while also picking out the melody, that became known as the Carter lick or the Carter scratch. And it's still one of the best known and most influential picking styles in American music. I'm using my thumb to play the sixth string, the bass note, and I'm using my fingers to strum or frail on the top strings. So it goes like this, thumb, frail. The other thing that the guitar could do is play a melody. The technique that Maybelle Carter developed by studying Lesley Riddle combined rhythm and lead playing together. Here, I'll demonstrate. Now it's your turn. If you're already an experienced guitar player, I'll show you everything you need to know to begin to work on your version of the Carter scratch. If you're a beginner, no worries. We'll start at the very beginning. The guitar strings are numbered from the high string, which is actually the string closest to your feet, to the low string, or the string closest to your head. Now, these strings are named, letter names, E, which we call string number 1, B, which we call string number 2, G, which we call string number 3, D, which we call string number 4, A, which we call string number 5, and E again, which we call string number 6. So string 1 on the top, which is closest to your feet, is an E, and string number 6 on the bottom, which is closest to your head, I know it's backwards, that's also an E. I want to tell you the 3 chords that we're going to use to play our version of the Carter scratch. If you're a beginner, I'm going to break it down for you. If you're more of an intermediate or more of an advanced guitar player, I'll just tell you that the chords are G, C, and D. We should also probably talk about how we're going to play the strings and the chords. Now, some people use guitar picks, and here I have my Taylor Swift 1989 guitar pick. But when I'm doing the Carter scratch, I don't like to use picks. Mother Maybelle did use finger and thumb picks when she played her version of the Carter scratch, which is the version of the Carter scratch. She wore finger picks and a thumb pick similar to these, which actually do make the guitar a lot louder compared with no picks. But I have a hard time playing the Carter scratch with picks. My picks end up flying off my fingers. So when I do my version of the Carter scratch, I like to just have no picks at all. So I mentioned that in our version of the Carter scratch, we're gonna play G, C, and D. If you're a beginner, here's how you can begin to approach doing this. The third string, open, is a G. So when we play G, you could just play the third string open. So while we're going, you can just play third string. And when I say open, that means My left hand isn't fretting anything. When we play a C chord, for my beginners, you can do one of two things. You can keep playing this G open, because that note is part of a C chord, or you can take your third finger, our index finger is our first finger, our middle finger is our second finger, our ring finger is our third finger, and our pinky is our fourth finger. So when you play a C chord, you can either play this open G, or if you want to get a little more advanced, take your third finger, your ring finger, and put it on the fifth string, second string from your head, the A string. Put that third finger on the 1, 2, 3, third fret. So, and that is a C note. Then when we move to our D chord, you're going to play the fourth string, 1, 2, 3, 4, open. That is a D note. So I've created this play along in GarageBand so that we have something to play to, especially when we're just playing one note at a time. It's nice to have something to play along with. So let's go through our Carter scratch chord progression. If you're a more experienced player, you can play your G, C, and D. If you're starting at the beginning, remember we're on third string, fifth string, third fret with the third finger, and then our open fourth string to play a D. I'm going to hit play and start our Carter scratch play along, and we'll do a little count off. 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, third string. Moving to the C. Moving to the G, open third string. We're going to do that again. G, 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 G. Now we're going to go G, D, D, and two G's. Here's the top, G. Let me show you how we can move towards the Carter lick or the Carter scratch by playing the entire chord. The G chord starts with our third finger on the third fret on the sixth string. So here was that C note. I'm just moving it over to the sixth string, from the fifth string to the sixth string. And then I'm putting my pinky, my first finger, on the third fret on the first string. And you can add your middle finger, your second finger, onto the fifth string, second fret. And when we play all these together, we get a G chord. The other chord in the progression is the C chord. The third finger, the ring finger, goes back to that C note, which is the fifth string, the A string at the third fret. The second finger, the middle finger, goes to the fourth string, the D string, at the second fret. The G is open. Remember that G we played, the first note we played, and then the first finger is going to go on the second string at the first fret. And the first string is open, and there's our C chord. Now we move to the D chord. The fourth string is still open, and then we take a peace sign. We make a peace sign with our first and second fingers. The first finger goes on the third string at the second fret. The middle finger, the second finger, goes on the first string at the second fret. So we've got third string, second fret, first string, second fret, and a peace sign. And you can take your third finger and put it on the second string, the third fret, and we have our D major chord playing strings 4, 3, 2, and 1. Here's how I'm going to approach this. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Thumb, frail, and then I'm going to switch and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3. let's try it with the play along. The thumb is going to happen on 1 and 3. 1, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The frail is going to happen on 2 and 4. Thumb, frail, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And as you're learning, it's good to break it down and maybe just do thumb on 1 and 3, then switch and just do frail on 2 and 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Thumb, frail, thumb, frail, thumb, frail, thumb, frail, thumb. Thumb, you can slow it down. Thumb, 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 thumb. To the D, thumb, thumb. Now let's add a frail. Thumb, frail, thumb, frail, thumb, frail, thumb, frail. To the C, thumb, frail, thumb, frail. And I'm just taking my time, thumb, frail. I'm not playing every chord. Thumb, frail, thumb, frail. To the D, thumb, frail, thumb, frail. Now let's play every chord. Thumb, frail, thumb, frail, thumb, frail, thumb, frail. Now let's go through our progression one time where I'm just going to play the melody and then I'm going to put it all together. 1, 2, 3. Now let's put it all together. Thanks for joining us today and for playing along with us. And special thanks to our friends at Gibson for this gorgeous Epiphone guitar, styled after Mother Maybelle's guitar. And don't forget to visit our website, countrymusichollofame.org, and visit our web calendar so you can join us in upcoming family programs where we make art and music, and you can learn how to make your own practice play along in GarageBand. We'll see you then.